Podcast Studios. This is After 9 with Scott and Kat.
Hey now.
Hello.
What's going on, Kat? How are you?
I'm good, thank you. That was a lovely weekend that's way too short when it's nice outside, isn't it?
We gotta get going on this 4-day work week, everybody. It's almost though, you know what? It's funny because I heard a lot of people talking like politics and stuff over the last little while. And we all know the NDP pulled out of that deal with the Liberals. Doesn't mean the Liberals are going to fall. It just means that the NDP isn't bound to vote with them. And the only reason that agreement lasted for 2 years is because the NDP had leverage. They could go to Justin Trudeau and say, hey, if you don't do what we want, you're out of here. We can do that too. What's it going to take for all of us to get together and say, listen here, JT, you're going to change the labor laws and you're going to make it a 4-day work week and it's going to be 32 hours a week work for 40 hours a week pay and you're going to make this happen and we won't accept anything less or you're out of here. It's like a supply and confidence with us.
We're going to put a video out. It's going to be really dramatic music in the background. And then I'm going to say, today I ripped up the calendar. I ripped it to shreds. Screw your Mondays.
I've ripped up my agreement with time.
What is time anyway? And then we'll go really deep. It'll be fun.
What did you do this weekend?
I was outside a lot of it, which was lovely. Friday, I had my brother and a family over, and it was like a post-golf game thing that turned into, okay, fine, everyone just come over, had some barbecue, great. And then Saturday, out and about, again, just enjoying the weather where we could. Went to the market, stuff like that, you know?
Amazing.
And then yesterday I had another family get together at my parents' house. So
Wow.
a lot of family, a lot of outdoorsy stuff.
This is the weekend, though, or that was the weekend. It was the final weekend of summer, for those who don't know. This coming weekend, fall begins. Sunday morning at 8:44, we turn the calendar for the autumnal equinox. Good.
Fine.
Good. Let's get to it.
Fine.
Let's get moving here.
Fine.
It is going to be nice for the next couple of days, though. But hey, we're not going to do the weather in the pod because you might be listening to this in like 2028 thinking, what the hell?
It's true.
So let's get to a couple of different things. We do have food news on this episode of After 9. You can hear missed connections at the end of this episode. And we are going to talk about the assassination attempt on Donald Trump yesterday and what they're doing in BC that is something that there's calls for to be done in Ontario, namely coming out of the mayor of Guelph, Cam Guthrie.
Okay.
He wants to institutionalize those who have got mental health issues.
Oh, okay. That's controversial, I suppose.
That's what I thought. And nobody's even talking about it.
I mean, we'd have to hear the reasoning around it. I have to hear some more details on it. I did hear the story, obviously, today in our morning show, by the way. You can always listen in the morning because Scott does what you need to know. And it's a great little, hey, here's what's going on. Here's what happened over the weekend. And if you want to look into more, you always can. But at least we cover that. So in what I heard so far, I feel like I'll look into a little bit more before I rush to any judgment. But I do find like West Coast, they've got some good stuff going on there in terms of what they have and then their processes and ways. So I'm interested to hear it out.
Well, they're a couple of months ahead of us. I mean, they had safe injection sites, so we brought in safe injection sites. Then they realized that was a bad idea, so they closed their safe injection sites, and now we're closing our safe injection sites.
We're
now
copycats.
Now they want to open up an institution, a former prison for people with mental health issues, and you know, we used to call them an asylum back in the day, and I guess we don't do that anymore.
And that's and I gotta say, because I don't
this has got asylum vibes to it.
Thank you, because that's what I thought when you said that. When you said that, I was thinking about like Gotham. Like I didn't even watch that show, Gotham, the asylum that. Right?
I almost spit out my coffee.
Sorry, but that's what I pictured. And then I pictured that exact scenario. Bunch of crazies and you lock them up like jail cell style. Now, if there's dangerous offenders, by all means, I don't care if you have mental health issues or not, if you're a dangerous human. And maybe that's a controversial thing to say, but I don't want you going around and hurting anybody. Nobody does.
Or yourself.
Or yourself. Yes. Like we don't want people getting hurt is the period the end for me. So if that's the case, yes, I do believe in the psychiatric holds that they have going on and everything else that they have to do for your safety and the safety of people around you. That comes first. But is this beyond that where it's like, well, you might still be nutty? Like, then are we going backwards? And we have to be careful with stuff like that. So anyway, I do feel like all of us need to look into it a little bit more before we judge and see what the details are, but it's happening.
They used to say you were institutionalized.
That's right.
Now they're calling it involuntary care facility.
Involuntary care. And again, if you're
jail,
hurting,
it's fucking jail.
For sure. But if you're harming people, like I said, that's where I'm good with it. But is that the case for everybody? I don't know.
Typically, an involuntary mental health hold, though, would only last for a couple of hours. If it was to be any more than that, you would need a justice of the peace to say, no, we're taking away your right to freedom because you need to be locked up. I don't know how long this is going to last. Like, can they only check somebody in for a couple hours and then they got to let them go again? It's a weird situation, not something here in Ontario yet, but BC is continuing to try and undo some of the damage that got done from all the drugs they were handing out. So hopefully it works for them. It's just, I never thought I'd see the return of involuntary holds and former jails being converted into mental health holding facilities.
Is it Arkham Asylum? Anyway, whatever. You guys knew what I meant.
Okay, let's get to it. Last night, the biggest night in television took place. The awards were handed out at the Emmys. Here's a little bit of last night.
For me, I played a lot of dads in my day. Yes, I was a dad in American Pie. I was a dad in Finding Dory and our show, Schitt's Creek. Sure. But without question, my most rewarding dad role ever has been being your dad. In Schitt's Creek. Because it got me my first acting Emmy.
Yeah. Why are we applauding bad parenting?
They're funny.
They're so funny together. Schitt's Creek is such a good show. I miss it so much. There was a Schitt's Creek reunion, by the way, if you guys want to go back and watch it, because Catherine O'Hara was there. And the girl who played Annie, I always forget her name, but she's so good. And she was present as well. So they did that at the end of the show.
What I want to play here, I thought it was one of the better moments. It was the cast of Only Murders in the Building. Steve Martin, Martin Short, Selena Gomez doing what made that show as great as it is.
I'm Selena Gomez.
And I'm Steve Martin.
And I'm Martin.
What an exciting night.
The Emmy Awards. What a magical evening it's been trying to remember people's names.
And pretending that we've seen their shows.
And when I see an actor I don't know, I just say, I loved your scene with Nicole Kidman. And 9 times out of 10, I'm right.
And see, let me just say what an honor it is for me to be working with someone who looks like he's fallen and can't get up.
And let me say what an honor it is for me to be working with someone who looks like a former women's tennis champion.
I feel like you'd like that show. Only Murders in the Building. You've never given it a go, eh?
So Dave, our boss and our Friday co-host, is a huge fan of that show. But Dave is also a huge fan of that style, Steve Martin, Martin Short comedy. And it doesn't work for everybody because it doesn't translate directly in 2024 the way it might have in, say, 1990. So I don't know.
It's so good. You know what? The magic potion that they put together there is adding Selena Gomez into that mix. Like, I mean, she makes them relevant, more relevant than they ever have been for the younger generations. It's such a good combo, the three of them together. I highly recommend Only Murders in the Building. And the fact that they can call in, because they are who they are, whoever they want, Meryl Streep, for example. You can call in Paul Rudd. This season, Zach Galifianakis, Eugene Levy, Eva Longoria. I mean, you name it. They've had so many stars, whether it's In and Out, Jane Lynch as well. So many great actors. So I do recommend that show.
What is this show that won? Shogun.
So I've never seen it. It's a Disney Plus as well. And Bob Iger, CEO, admitted how much money they poured into the show. And he was like, ugh. He wasn't sure at the time. It's so obscure because so it takes place in 17th century Japan. That's what I know about it. And I know there's a lot more to the show itself. But the interesting part was it cost them so much money. They actually created a script. They got it translated into Japanese and then translated again for subtitles. So the show is actually, even though a lot of those actors, and you heard them last night on the Emmys, speak English, they wanted to make it a true based in Japan show. They didn't want to speak English and make it seem like they're, so the whole thing was Japanese with English subtitles, I guess. And it was a different kind of concept anyway. However the show actually works, I don't know, because like I said, I haven't seen it, but I might now. 18 awards for season 1.
So it was the big winner.
Big winner, by far. By like a landslide. There's other shows that popped up quite a bit. The Bear is another one. I like that show. That's also Disney Plus.
Why is that a comedy?
It's not. Like,
Why
it
are they
is.
putting it in that
so
category?
there's like a threshold. And I remember even season 1. Season 1 did have funnier moments, by the way. Season 1 had some funnier moments. So that one was like, oh, okay, it kind of teeters on the brink. Season 2, not so funny. This past season, that they just put out that by the way wasn't nominated this time around because they just put it out. So it'll be next year's Emmys. Really darker and sad. Really sad. So not once did I laugh. Whereas the other two seasons, I could see them, there's some funny moments in it. But I'm not sure. I think, again, there's some kind of threshold that allows them to be in that category.
Is the threshold they don't think they can win in the drama category?
And they might not have. Because the interesting part is, too, they didn't even win Best Comedy. They won in the acting categories. Jeremy Allen White's fantastic. It was Evan, what's his name? Anyway, he's so good. There's a lot of good acting. A lot of good actors in it, but Hacks was actually named the best comedy, not even The Bear.
The royal family's social media accounts yesterday posted birthday wishes for Prince Harry's 40th, a big milestone. The royal family shared an image of a beaming Harry and a birthday cake emoji. Boy, oh boy, things have changed since the Queen died. There were no emojis coming out of Kensington Palace before this, but they did it. I guess they wanted it to be lighthearted and kind of signal that things are getting better or they're already okay. And they just haven't told us that there's no more rift between Harry and the royal family. Am I reading too much into it?
Yeah.
Do you think they still
here's
hate
why.
him and they just wanted to look good?
I mean, it caught people's attention and they knew that it would no matter what. But I also have to say, like, why are people acting as though this is like an olive branch or something? It's like when you text your friend a quick happy birthday on their birthday. It's easy. They didn't do anything out of, something that was quick for whoever runs the social media, because I'm still not even certain that the Prince and Princess of Wales even run their own social, for example.
I doubt it.
I don't think they do, or whatever, any of them. So I think it was kind of like we just did it to do it because we don't hate him, obviously, enough to not, but it's an easy enough thing to do. It's literally just typing out happy birthday and posting a photo that you have the rights to post. It's simple. Like, to me, it's not really reaching out an olive branch at all. That would have been actually doing that. Now, not to say that they should, because Prince Harry, would he write a happy birthday for his brother? Would he have done the same thing? I don't know what the answer is to that.
He did not for the last birthday anyway.
Yeah.
Is there a card, like maybe at the dollar store, maybe it'd be one of the expensive ones at Shoppers, like, happy birthday, we love you, we just hate your wife.
Awkward?
Yeah. Is there a card for that?
Don't tell her we're sending you this, because we don't want to hear it, but...
We'd rather deal with the media than your wife. Yeah. That's how bad we don't like your wife. One more thing I want to do in the entertainment realm. This is a follow-up to something that we talked about at pretty great length last week. Justin Timberlake was in court on Friday, and he came out afterwards and gave quite the statement that is in direct contradiction to everything that brought him to the courthouse in the first place.
Many of you have probably been covering me for a lot of my life. And as you may know, I try to hold myself to a very high standard for myself. This was not that. I found myself in a position where I could have made a different decision. And so what I'd like to say to everyone watching and listening, even if you've had one drink, don't get behind the wheel of a car.
He went on to talk about all the options we know. There's ride shares, guys, and there's taxis and Ubers, and oh my gosh, you call a friend and all the things. We know that, though. I feel like,
why didn't he do that?
Are we still in a place where we sincerely have to act like this is news to people, that you're not supposed to have a drink and drive, that there's other options? Like, are we seriously at that place? I know we're not. I know we're not as a society. I know that. So I just really find it hard to stomach that. I mean, he pleaded guilty, sure. It was a non-criminal traffic violation of driving while impaired. He agreed to 25 to 40 hours of community service at whatever place he wants to, which I don't like either. Because if I was the judge, I'd be like, here's the thing. We're keeping you out of any, jails, but we're going to make you volunteer at XYZ place. Like, this is the place you're going to go.
Yeah, you're going to serve soup to homeless people in New York City. Not you get to go and sign autographs in Nashville, close to home, for a bunch of rich kids.
All it takes is any number of foundations, of which, if I'm not mistaken, he has one. His wife knows people. He could go to anything he wants in a private setting and where there's no cameras around to do his community service. And I don't like that. Pick up trash at the side of the road, OG style. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. I think a lot of people are on that page. A lot of people want to like Justin Timberlake, but the way this got handled was not right. I didn't know that you could plead down to a non-criminal impaired driving charge. I thought that was only something that happened in America, although I won't out him. Someone who works for the court system.
Text us. Are you talking about the text we got?
Yeah. Saying that in Canada, one of the things they've been doing, and they've been doing it since COVID started, I don't think the average person knows what's going on. The average person who wouldn't take a chance drinking and driving, who knows how dangerous it is and what their responsibility is if they've had a few drinks. I don't think the average person knows. Apparently, there's a lot of pleading down impaired charges happening right here in Ontario.
Because there's too many charges.
There's too many.
That's the other problem,
Yeah.
right? There's too many. What's it gonna? I don't know what it'll take. I really don't. I think I'm at a loss when it comes to that. Heads up too with Justin Timberlake. He is besties with Jimmy Fallon. I think most people know this. So Jimmy has him on his show tonight. So this won't be the end of Justin Timberlake talking about it. I think what they're going to do, it's very strategic. Like, although yes, they're friends, and yes, people enjoy Justin Timberlake on with Jimmy Fallon, and they will make crack jokes. I think what they're going to do, if I had to guess before I've even seen it, is Justin's going to come in, and it's not going to be like a crazy sketch where he usually does before he comes in. It's going to be a serious chat about here's what happened, whatever, and he's going to have a real conversation about the tour and how he worried it would affect the tour and how he's going to be a better guy, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll go into some lighthearted stuff. So all in one, you're going to be like, oh, Justin Timberlake's really sorry. Oh, they're funny. Ha, okay, I'm good with it. So, I mean, I don't know who is good with it. I'm not saying I'm canceling Justin Timberlake over this or anything like that. However, he is trying to definitely ease people's minds about him and liking him with that move.
Yeah, the statement seemed a little obligatory. I don't know. I wanted to hear more from him about what he was thinking, because he has the means. There's no denying it. He was in a place where he could certainly have afforded an Uber or whatever else. Go Uber Black if you don't want any attention or something like that. Justin, you had options. Refusing the breathalyzer and then pleading down the charge, that's where I have a problem with this. Good that you're out there now talking about the dangers of drinking and driving, but I've maintained for a long time, it's not that people don't understand their options. When somebody makes a decision to drive drunk, it's mainly because they're drunk and you make bad decisions when you're drunk. The vast majority of people, when they're drunk, know full well they could take a taxi, they could take an Uber, they could walk, they could take transit, yada, yada. We all know that. People do this because they don't think they're going to get caught. They think, I'm just going from here to there. I'm not that drunk. And you take the chance. And I've done it. I think most people have done it. Doesn't make it right. And what Justin did here, there's really not a lot of excuse for it. And I'm not trying to hold him to a higher standard. I'm trying to hold him to a wealthy standard. If you're wealthy, there is zero excuse for this.
I mean, and I don't even think that there's an excuse no matter what. I don't care if you're poor. You managed to get yourself some drinks.
Agreed, yeah.
Figure it out. Figure it out. There's no excuse, I think. And there's I don't even care if you're rich or not. If you could have taken a jet instead of drove drunk. I don't care. There's just no excuse for it. Like, I went out to dinner with my husband. We had like a drink and I took an Uber, knowing that I was going to have a drink. I'm not taking chances. Well, how are people taking chances like this? I don't understand.
See, when I go out with an Uber or somebody else is driving, that's almost like a permission to get sloppy. Hey, we're going out for dinner tonight. We're taking an Uber. Great. We're getting at least one bottle of wine. We're going to have some martinis to start, maybe finish it off with a Negroni or two. I'm going for broke if I don't have to drive. If I do have to drive, though, I'm well aware of the fact that I've got to drive later, and I'm responsible about that choice that I make to have a drink or two. I don't mind driving after a drink, but those breathalyzers are sensitive, man. And all it takes is, you just didn't metabolize it the right way, and bam, you lose your license for a year.
It's just not worth it. You could lose your job.
And your job.
Never mind that. Whatever you do for a living, you may not think you're important enough, but you could absolutely lose your job. And then trust me, it's going to be hard to come back from that, especially when jobs are so scarce right now. I just don't understand how anyone would take a chance.
Problems
I don't.
Getting over the border. There's any number of reasons. We don't need to tell you guys about the dangers of drunk driving. I'm just spitballing here. I'm just still frustrated at how this happened and the way it was handled. But JT says he is going to turn a new leaf. Good luck to him. Here's hoping that he does and maybe prevents somebody else from making the mistake that he did. We're going to get low on time here, so I'm going to move on quick because there's a lot more to get to. I want to talk about food news. Food news is something we do regularly on the Scott and Kat Show. Today, we happen to have a lot of it. And I'm going to start off with something that's happening in our home base, Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario. Local Harvey's restaurants in the KW area are raising money for the Grand River Hospital Foundation. So, if you go in and buy an Angus or a veggie burger combo, regular or veggie burger, Every time you do that, they're donating to the Grand River Hospital Foundation. It's going until September the 22nd, so you've got all this week. Harvey's is helping to make Waterloo Region a beautiful thing. Hey, get a burger. It's for a good cause.
Go do it.
You want a burger right now, actually. I wish that all Harveys were doing this, but it's definitely in Waterloo Region. So those ones in particular, if you can help us and them out, that'd be great. Other food news. A&W enters the chat.
We love this. Anytime that two companies get together for a food combo, it always piques our interest. We talked about the Coca-Cola X Oreo, and I saw that everywhere more recently. The Coca-Cola Oreos and then the Oreo flavoring in the Coca-Cola. I don't know because I haven't tried either.
It's even worse in the States. It's like bordering on obnoxious.
Right?
I was in Buffalo for a football game on Saturday, and I popped into Target like I always do. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
They're throwing it in your face. They practically pour it down your throat when you walk in.
But clearly it's a winning thing when you combo with the right people. And this is a combo that's coming to an A&W near you. But it's nothing new. This takes me back to when I was a kid at our family barbecues. All the kids, when we had to make our own burgers, like, yeah, do your own burger, right? Parents aren't going to do it for you. We shoved what inside the burger buns? Chips.
Yeah.
And this is it. They've introduced 2 different burgers with Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips inside. No. It's the Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what that'd be like. And, they're not going to leave out the kids. The Ruffles Crunch Buddy Burger. The Buddy Burger is like in the kids packs is where you can find that. It's like
that's
like junior style.
Their small burger, right? It'd be like the hamburger at McDonald's versus the Big Mac and the teen burger.
I'm telling you, my kid would like that one too. She probably would like it. But it is available, I believe, for a limited time, they say. So this is not going to be a fixed menu item all the time. This is just for the time being.
Is it like Harvey's where you can ask for like a pickle on the side? Can I get like a teen burger and just a handful of chips to go?
I don't know, actually. I don't know how they're going to do this. Like, do they just get like a big vat of Ruffles and they just plop it on the burger when someone orders it? Or are these like mini bags of chips and they open as they go? I don't know.
So you mentioned that this morning on the morning show, and it does seem like something that kids would do. Yeah, let's stick some chips in our burger. I never did that when I was a kid. What I did do, though, was I had hot dogs with chips in the bun.
Okay, similar.
Crunch on a hot dog. It was good, really good. I don't know if I'm going to love this on the burger. I think it would be great to have it on the side because, hey, chips are chips, right? I mean, hell, when they're charging $4 for a medium fry, I'll take anything for free I can get. So that's now available. Teen Burger and Buddy Burgers, right?
Yeah, there you go. Have at her. Get those Ruffles in there.
The latest analysis on healthy and unhealthy fast food options has been done. This comes out every year around this time. And Kat, we've got the latest numbers. When you take into account calories, sugar, saturated fat, and sodium, you get an unhealthy score. Five Guys had the unhealthiest cheeseburger.
Okay. Is that bigger? Is it bigger?
It's big. I don't know if it's bigger, but it's
wondering.
It's like a real burger. To be honest, Five Guys kind of reminds me of old school Licks.
Okay.
It felt like you were eating a real burger, like somebody took ground beef and made a patty out of it and cooked it. I don't get that vibe from a lot of fast food burgers. This one is good, but I didn't know it was that unhealthy.
Okay.
Also on the list for unhealthy cheeseburgers is Whataburger and Smashburger. These are American numbers, but we have a lot of the same foods, so we'll keep going with it.
Sure.
Popeyes, unhealthiest chicken sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
That was the first chicken sandwich that I had. Let's go back a couple of years, everybody. For a while, it was just beef burgers. That was all you could get. And there was a McChicken and stuff like that. Nobody until Popeyes did it with this big, battered, and deep-fried honkin' chicken on a bun. Nobody did it before Popeyes, and it was great. Remember, people were fighting in parking lots to try and get them?
Yeah.
It was that popular. Now it is the most unhealthy chicken sandwich out there, followed by Fat Burger and Zaxby's. Of the 20 places that have a chicken sandwich, the McChicken at McDonald's was the least unhealthy. The Dairy Queen chicken burger
Dairy Queen
was the second least unhealthy. Okay. I didn't even know they had chicken burgers at Dairy Queen.
I didn't know that either. I actually, because I know they have the burger. I didn't realize they had chicken burgers also. Okay.
Unhealthiest nugs. Popeyes is the unhealthiest chicken nuggets, according to this.
I wonder if they double fry, or is that a thing? I don't know. Is that a thing, a double fry or a double bread or something like that?
You can bread something or you can batter something. And I think they batter the crap out of everything.
Got it.
Okay, so we've got unhealthy nugs, they say, at Popeyes, although I believe them when they say they're delicious. When it comes to the least unhealthy chicken nuggets, McDonald's again. The McDonald's McNuggets are the least unhealthy.
I don't know, man.
That goes against everything I've ever been told.
Yeah, none of these are healthy options, we should add. Like, obviously, we know that. They're just talking about the unhealthiest of the unhealthy options.
I don't want to say healthiest, but when we're talking unhealthy versus less unhealthy, KFC is the second least unhealthy, followed by Wendy's. I never would have guessed that KFC nugs were healthier than Wendy's. I wouldn't have guessed that.
I didn't even know they had nuggets.
Really?
Yeah.
Where? At Wendy's?
KFC?
KFC. Chicken nuggets, they're good.
Okay.
Five Guys, again with the unhealthiest French fries. I think they're taking real potatoes, and I think they double fry them there.
Double fry.
They have to because they're so good.
There's something going on with that. And obviously people like them. That's the thing is but the question is what's worth it? Like, we all know these are treat yourself meals, or at least we hope that everybody knows that, right? You're not supposed, any doctor will tell you. So we don't have to, obviously we're not doctors and you know that. Listen to your own medical professional in your life. However, we know you're not supposed to eat this stuff every day. But when you do treat yourself, what is worth it when you hear all these things?
Yeah, I'm still going for the Popeyes personally.
Popeyes? See, but that's what I mean. Like,
it's
when you are treating
sandwich.
yourself, you kind of don't think about this and you're like, whatever. For me, it used to be the Big Mac. That used to be like my classic go-to thing. I haven't had a Big Mac in forever. But if you were like, you can pick any one of them, I'm going to pick Big Mac.
Speaking of Big Mac, have you tried the new McArch or whatever it is?
I have not.
It's the biggest burger I've ever had in my life. Kat, it's too much food. I ate it and felt like a dog for the rest of the day. It was, I got halfway through that burger and said, if this was done now, I'd be good.
Oh, yeah.
But I wasn't going to not eat the whole thing. And then I just felt like a bag of crap after that.
You know what they had? So I saw that when I was driving through for my kids. My kids got Happy Meals. You know they got Croc Happy Meal toys this month?
Crocs?
I know, because I haven't been in a while. We got into a habit in the summertime. It's too much here and there. So we haven't been in a while. And I was like, I don't know what the toy is. It's a little Croc keychain. They're actually adorable, but it's a McDonald's Crocs keychain.
Huh. All right. What were we talking there? We were talking fries, right? Unhealthiest fries. So Five Guys, of the least unhealthy, In-N-Out had the least unhealthy, followed by McDonald's and then Church's Chicken.
I've never had most of those. I had In-N-Out for the first time when I went to Vegas last year.
And?
It was all right.
Was it worth the hype?
Like, it's so funny because my brother's the one that told us, like, you got to go to In-N-Out. He goes to the States more often than I. And I was like, okay, we'll go. It was okay. Like, I don't know, like, a lot of the time it's just like, eh. You know what the only thing that I've had fast food related that I've never had before recently that's been around for a long time is Mary Brown's chicken sandwich.
Still around, huh?
It's at the Great Canadian Casino Resort. They've got the food court there. And at one point, that was the only thing open. So we had zero choices. I were Tim Hortons, but I didn't want anything on Tim Hortons menu at that time. It was like late at night. I was like, okay, I guess I'll have a chicken sandwich. And I was like, okay, this actually is not bad at all. It hit. Now, I don't know if it was the booze before the burger. I was
going to say, were you drinking?
I don't know if
because it always hits when you're drinking.
The chicken sandwich, but it was good.
Of the places that have a vanilla milkshake, Fat Burger was the least healthy, followed by Sonic and again, Five Guys. Of the places with a shake, McDonald's had the least unhealthy vanilla milkshake. McDonald's, followed by Smash Burger and Arby's, if you want to treat yourself. McDonald's was the least unhealthy fast food chain overall, and I didn't think I'd be saying that very regularly. McDonald's is the least of the unhealthy options.
Did the portion sizes go down though, maybe?
Everything
Can we
went
consider
down.
that? Because I feel like I hear complaints about that everywhere, about everything. In the grocery store or fast food chain or restaurant. I mean, you name it. But shrinkflation is what they call it, right? Yep. Shrinkflation. I think that might be the case with some of the fast food options too. So keep that in mind.
Today, our politicians get back to work in Ottawa. It is the return of Parliament. Parliament is back after a very long summer vacation, and what's it going to look like when they go back?
Misleading. Because I will axe the tax, and I will axe the tax with delight and with passion and with incredible speed. So when I'm Prime Minister, you will be shocked at the speed with which I will axe the tax.
That's good. One of the questions I wanted to know from Pierre Poilievre, if he would please come on the show or the podcast, is you say you're going to axe the tax. Okay. Well, people can't really wait any longer. How long until you axe the tax? Is this like year 3 of 4 when you're prime minister? He says lightning speed. I don't know if he can just with the stroke of a pen get rid of a tax or if they need to have an actual vote on it, but he says the tax is coming off in lightning speed and he will do it with delight. Good. Even the NDP is opposed to the carbon tax now. Yeah. I mean, we're kind of spinning our wheels here, but it is going to be ugly in Ottawa, I think, because they get back today. Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the Conservatives, has already said he's going to call for a confidence vote at the first opportunity, and everybody will stand up and be counted. That could happen as early as this week. What we don't know is if the NDP will vote with the Liberals after they just ended that deal and keep them in power. Or maybe it could be the Bloc Québécois that would vote for them. The other option here is, and they swear they're not going to do it, if it looks like Poilievre has got the votes for non-confidence in the government, which would trigger an election, Justin Trudeau could prorogue Parliament, which would reset everything. It would save him. There'd have to be a new speech from the throne, and we would probably be in the same situation a month from now. So we'll see where it goes. There's 2 by-elections today. I don't know if there's any... Do we have a lot of listeners in Winnipeg? I don't really hear from people in Winnipeg that often.
We'd have to check our stats again because I am always curious who pops up. But okay, that's good.
They say the Winnipeg by-election is going to be a 2-way race between the NDP, who have got the seat now, and the Conservatives, who are leading in the polls. Then there's another by-election. It's in the LaSalle area of Montreal, where the Conservatives apparently aren't really that competitive based on the polling. That's going to be between the Liberals, the NDP, and the Bloc. There's a scenario here where the Bloc and the Conservatives win those by-elections, and if that happens, that's not good for the government, but we'll see what happens when those polls come in, when those results come in tomorrow. There was a second assassination attempt on Donald Trump yesterday. This time he was playing golf at his own course in West Palm Beach, Florida. The would-be attack from amid some shrubbery thwarted by a Secret Service officer. Trump was not hurt. The suspect was arrested in a vehicle a short distance away. Yes, they actually got away. In custody is a 58-year-old named Ryan Wesley Roth. He was arrested in a neighboring county within minutes of authorities putting out a very urgent alert detailing his vehicle and license plate number.
He's talking?
I think so. I don't know if we're going to find out necessarily what he's telling investigators, but that's 2 assassination attempts in 3 months. And we hadn't heard of any assassination attempts in 40 years. Mm-hmm. What's going on?
The hate is high, though.
The hate is high.
The hate is high. It's no longer just about politics for a lot of people. And I think also there's just people are going a little batty at the same time in a lot of cases. It's something else.
I don't know what they need to do here because I fully believe that we've only got so much money and we need to spend our money smartly, and the Americans do too. So that's why the President of the United States, currently listed as Joe Biden, has world-class security. You'll never get anywhere near that guy without somebody with a gun pointed at you in case you try something stupid. It's very, very different than you see here. Here, we've got the big, long motorcade, but Trudeau still goes and walks around people. It's a fairly controlled environment, but anything could happen. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's not really safe for him or any prime minister.
Right.
And it's certainly not safe for a presidential candidate in America. If there's been 2 attempts in 3 months, they got to beef up his security. I heard a report that if he was the sitting president, that entire area around that golf course would have been blocked off. Nobody would have been able to get anywhere near the course. However, because he's not the sitting president, he just has a detail. When he's playing golf, he's got a couple of Secret Service guys with him. And there's one that just goes ahead and checks out the next hole before he gets there.
And this guy happened to catch this potential shooter.
Yeah, I don't know how this happened, but apparently you could see the barrel of the gun sticking through a chain link fence. And this FBI or Secret Service agent was like, whoa, that's not right. Bam. And started shooting. The person got away. They left behind a gun that had more than enough range to take out Trump. He was only about 300 to 500 yards away from Trump, less than one hole in golf. And those guns can travel a long distance. So this could have been catastrophic if he got a clean shot, but the Secret Service people thwarted it, they say. And then they caught him and arrested him. And I don't know if anything's going to come of it, but we should really learn a lesson here that it's time to beef up security. There's people that are out there trying to kill.
Well, and not to say that it should be on the former presidents always. However, I mean, he has money to do that if he so wishes. I'm kind of surprised he didn't have more of a detail considering the attempt on his life that had happened already.
You're thinking like give up on the Secret Service and just hire your own private security? A lot of hip hop stars have done that.
Yeah, they have. And you know what? Maybe that's what he should look into. If he's only allowed a certain amount of security, it just basically covered by taxpayer dollars, then why doesn't he say, all right, I'll spend an extra however X amount of money because it's worth it? Or maybe he wants to try to prove a point. I mean, I don't know. The mind of Donald Trump is one that I don't care to try to dive into. I don't know what he's thinking right now. However, who knows? Maybe we'll see that happening.
Man, we have to blow through so many things here today. Last thing we're going to do, then we got to go. No strike. Air Canada has worked it out. I'm being told they were getting a 42% pay increase over 4 years, so likely 10% per year on average, which is great. One of the things I was shocked to find out this weekend is how little Air Canada pilots make. Apparently, the starting salary for an Air Canada pilot is $58,000 a year. 58K is 58K. It's money, but that's not a lot of money when you consider the hours and the responsibility and all that you have to go through. Not to mention, it's going to cost about $200K just to get your commercial pilot's license. How long is it going to take to pay that back when you're only making $58 a year?
Yeah, I'm glad. I mean, pay them what they're worth. You know what I mean? And they are worth money. I'm curious what happens here. You guys probably got inundated with emails, but Air Canada wants you to spend money. Was it before tomorrow night, though? Or something like that? That they have a bunch of 25% off everything or something?
25% off flights and a bonus 2,500 Aeroplan miles if you book. But you've only got till like Wednesday at 5.
Like that's handy if
I
you
can't
know.
even call my girlfriend and find out if she can get time off in 2 days.
I know. It's handy if you were like literally booking something today or tomorrow, but that's about that. And can Aeroplan stop emailing me as though I have a billion points? I don't even have enough for like a free snack on the fucking plane. And they keep emailing me like, you got a book and you got this many Aeroplan miles. I don't have enough.
Air Canada, by the way, who encouraged you to explore your options. And if you were worried about the strike happening this week, last week they gave you an opportunity to rebook on a different airline. Now that there is no strike, they've got some empty seats, and they'd actually like you to change your reservation with that other airline and come back to Air Canada for your original flight.
All right.
What's crazy is there's some people who are so loyal to Air Canada, they're going to do it. Like my dad is just obsessed with Air Canada. He just likes the Air Canada lounge. And when the strike was going to be happening, he actually rescheduled some business trips he had to go on. And I'm like, why don't you just fly WestJet? Why don't you fly any other airline, Flair or Sunwing, Porter? Nope. Can't get into the Air Canada lounge on Porter. Well, come on. We need more airport lounges.
We
I'm going to tell
need them,
you that.
but that's the thing is they're so good. And once you go, it's like it's almost like once you start doing something at a certain level, you can't go back again. You can't. And that's the case with the Air Canada lounge.
You're so right. Once you've been to the Air Canada lounge and experienced that luxury, you're not going back to not going to the Air Canada lounge when you get to the airport and just sitting at the gate like a sucker.
Yep.
I went to a Blue Jays game. It was for a birthday party. We sat in a box. I can't go back to sitting in regular seats in the outfield. The box is way better.
I know.
These things just have a way of taking over our lives. We got to go, everybody. Happy Monday. It's another week of After Nines, and we were going to leave you here today with the replay of Missed Connections.
And we will have that special edition podcast with my nutritionist coming up this week, too. So keep listening, and I'll let you know when that's happening, but we're recording it very soon.
People are so into that thing.
I've replied to so many people.
They're messaging me. Stop it. I don't fucking know. Ask Kat. I don't know. Ask her. It's voice of Kat. Leave me alone. I have no idea who this woman is or how to get a hold of her. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Missed Connections. Missed Connections on the Scott and Kat Show.
All right, here. Oh, no, we need the piano.
There we go.
There we go.
Lovely.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to tell you the stories of people that have had an encounter with someone else in the past. They've met, and then they went their separate ways. One person wanted to rekindle the flame, reignite the spark. So they looked for the other person by telling the story online.
This one is simply called Curious. Hey, I'm looking for the woman taking the LRT last Wednesday. She was really pretty. Maybe just finishing work, maybe heading out and about on a shopping trip. Either way, she was vigorously sniffing on her fingers.
Ooh.
It happened quite a bit, and I think she thought it was discreet, but I was watching intently, curious what it was she was sniffing. She took her time on each one.
Each finger individually?
It was hard to tell by the expression on her face which one she liked better or worse, making some interesting faces that I couldn't quite pinpoint.
Would all your fingers not smell the same, or is it possible that you've had your fingers in different things and there's a different scent?
It's definitely possible, Scott.
Right, so like a... Oh, yeah.
Wait, this one's not like the others.
Ooh, yikes. Oh, okay, all right. Where were her hands?
She then proceeded to take a rollerball perfume out of her purse and roll it on each of her fingertips.
Yeah, stinky fingers.
Maybe to cover up whatever she caught wind of. I wanted to switch seats and get closer to you, but my stop came and it was too late. I'm looking for you, Sniffer. Do you just want to know what they smell like? Or are you curious because you want to know more than just what's beyond the fingertips?
You're on the bus. You see somebody, or the LRT. You see somebody sniffing their fingers. You want to know what it smells like. Guaranteed.
I would move back farther. Not
Really?
want to get closer. You want to get closer and smell whatever it is they're smelling?
Who knows why they want to smell their fingers? I've done it, but that was when I got like a little gas on my hands when I was pumping at the pumps. Who knows what's on her hands?
Nothing good if she took out a rollerball perfume and put it on the fingertips.
This is pretty stinky. I got to cover that up. Yeah.
It wasn't like, ooh, I smell like Cinnabon still. It was like, oh, that ain't good. Don't have any hand sanitizer. But I do have this rollerball.
Where do you buy the roll-on finger scents?
Oh, good question. Now, they don't sell it that way, but this is a great marketing opportunity. If Sephora wants to get in on it, you know that stuff by the checkout? I think that's a perfect spot for rollerball fingertip perfume.
And what do you call it? Is it stinky fingers, or what do you call it?
Stinky digits.
Stinky digits. Yes. $1 million idea
Put that
folder,
in the folder, Octavia.
Put it in the folder. What do you think her hands smelled like?
Not good.
No, I wouldn't think so.
It can't be. It can't be.
Nobody smells their fingers and goes, that's amazing. Something is always on your hands. Something.
This next one is, it's an online. Don't you guys love buying things on Marketplace and Kijiji and stuff like that? This is in that realm. It's called the Mosquito Sale. Hey, I'm the one that bought a mosquito and sap Jurassic Park replica from you. It was back in July. I was tied down at the time, but now I'm back on the market, baby. I can't find your Facebook account, though. We set up at a Walmart parking lot for the transaction. You were very kind. You turned out to be a massive Jurassic Park fan like me. You showed me photos of your dino room.
You have a dino room?
A whole room. I can't believe you actually own the one-of-a-kind original glasses worn by Laura Dern, a.k.a. Dr. Ellie Sattler in the original film. I love your T-Rex wallpaper, but I'd love to see it in person more. Reach out if you see this, please.
Yeah.
That is impressive. How much would the glasses go for?
That would be an expensive thing. Some people like to collect movie-type stuff.
Yeah, they do.
How did he get the mosquito in the sap thing from Jurassic Park? Where did that come from?
You can actually buy those. Like the
Really?
replicas. Yeah, so I don't know if this is a legit, it was from Jurassic Park. He claims it is, but you can buy them on like Amazon. I saw them once.
But that's not from prehistoric times. That's just like something that somebody
No.
caught, or it got trapped in a trap.
Or it's a plastic mosquito. Yes.
Or it could
and they
not-
put it, it's epoxy.
Maybe not even a
it's
real
not
mosquito.
even actually sap. This guy
Okay.
could have just been suckered into paying for something he shouldn't have, is what we're trying to get at here.
I feel like somebody got scammed here and still doesn't even know it yet.
She probably screenshot all those pictures from someone else who's a collector. Like, yeah, this is my dino den. Anyway, I'll take your $500 now, please. Poor guy.
Most people, if they invite a girl over, like, come to my room, look at my dinosaur wallpaper. That usually doesn't go over that well. Where do you even find
I don't
dinosaur
know.
wallpaper now?
If you start with, you want to come over, see my T-Rex? It might work for some people. Where do you catch my bronchiosaurus?
2 Canadians have been put in charge of playing you off tonight.
Canadians don't like interrupting anybody. It goes against our nature.
Confrontation in general is anxiety-inducing, especially for my 77-year-old father, okay?
I don't like it.
The man is frailer than he looks. He gets palpitations from time to time. I'm hearing about tendinitis.
Okay, that's good. No. The point is...
Yeah.
If you're going to say anything meaningful or emotional or, God forbid, political, just, keep it short because the pressure alone on me...
Yeah, I don't want to be alarmist here, but having to cut you off could kill this man.
Okay.